Não vou falar inglês hoje.
Poxa, achei que só porque tá.
We are now joined by Orlando Pride forward Marta. Marta, could you please start us off with your thoughts on the game?
Quero falar do jogo?
Seus pensamentos do jogo.
Acho que a gente jogou melhor hoje. Ainda precisamos melhorar muito. Tomamos uns gols que, novamente, não podemos tomar, principalmente ali 1 contra 1, ou às vezes a gente tem mais atletas perto da bola e contra uma só, e a gente acaba perdendo o lance e acontecendo os gols. Mas acho que, no geral, é um pouco mais positivo do que foi no jogo passado. Principalmente porque foram 3 pontos, né, em casa, e a gente precisa muito, a cada jogo, procurar ganhar pontos e subir na tabela.
I think we played better today, but I think we still need to get better. We got scored those goals that we didn't have to be scored, So sometimes one-on-ones and things that we lack on. So I think we can get better in those things. Sometimes we have a lot of players around the ball and around the player, and we still can't steal the ball, So I think we need to get better on that. But it was a good result. We got 3 points at home. So I think that was great, but we still need to improve.
We'll go to Mike first.
Marta, you mentioned that the team continued to struggle, especially defensively, but on the offensive side of things, the team was able to put up 4 goals. Can you just talk a little bit about that, how important it was, because it also gave the team its first win at home as well?
Sim, sem dúvida. É que quando a gente fala que a gente está concedendo alguns gols que não pode, é porque a gente constrói bastante, a gente luta bastante para fazer os nossos gols. E quando a gente olha, a gente acaba tomando uns gols muito fáceis, assim, né? Mas é lógico que foi positivo, 4 gols. E acredito que poderia ter feito até mais, mas já para pensar no próximo jogo, é isso que a gente tem que levar, né? Continuar trabalhando para não tomar gols bobos e criando mais chances de gols e fazendo lá na frente.
Yeah, for sure. When I say that, we shouldn't have gotten scored those goals, it's just because we fight so much and we build plays and all that to score and get those goals, and then silly mistakes just, get us scored. So it's just those silly mistakes that if we change that, it'll make it easier for us. I still think we should have scored more as well, but we just need to keep working on scoring as we're doing, and also in our defensive side, so we make it easier for us to win games.
Go to Scott and then back to Mike.
You've been back with the team, obviously, for a couple of weeks now. Just what do you think has been the biggest improvement from before you went to France?
O que foi mais?
Você já voltou tem umas 2 semanas. O que você acha que mudou quando você não estava aqui? Desde quando você saiu até agora, quando você voltou? O que você acha que o time melhorou?
Eu acho que o time está melhor no sentido de entender a maneira que o treinador quer que a gente jogue, né? A gente, enfim, perdemos alguns pontos nos jogos passados, mas a gente continua buscando melhorar nesse sentido, no passe, na conexão, e principalmente na marcação, né? Hoje, no começo eu senti que no primeiro tempo a gente perdeu um pouco a marcação, no segundo tempo a gente melhorou, mas acredito que a gente evoluiu um pouco nesse sentido. Eu acho que dessa maneira que a gente está jogando, e se a gente errar menos a cada partida, a gente vai conseguir cada vez mais chegar no nível que a gente quer.
Yeah, I think we are better for sure. We are better on understanding how our coach wants us to play, understanding his way. So, we still lost points in the past games, but I think, for example, in this first half, we lacked defensively, and we need to, get better and get those mistakes fixed. But that's pretty much our work going forward, just getting less mistakes so we can keep scoring and getting less scored, you know. And I think we are on the same page on, you know, knowing how the coach wants to work and how wants the team to be and defensive as well.
Mike?
The team is going into the second half of the season in this summer. Well, obviously, with the players, the international players coming back, you're already here, but once the Americans come back as well, what are some realistic expectations do you have for the team? Obviously, you guys are still in the bottom of the table, well, kind of towards the bottom of the standings, but there's still potential to kind of reach the playoff spot. I mean, what's the expectation? What are the goals heading forward now with all these players coming back?
São atletas importantes para o grupo, né? E a gente não vê a hora de contar com elas novamente para que a gente possa dar prosseguimento ao trabalho e buscar sempre, andar na tabela, né? Não ficar parada no mesmo lugar. Subir na tabela, conquistar pontos e terminar o campeonato em uma posição mais para frente, né? Mais para cima. É isso que a gente espera. Então, espero que elas possam voltar motivadas, né? A gente está aí na torcida para que dê tudo certo amanhã, que, sem dúvida, elas ganhando títulos vão chegar aqui muito motivadas e vai ajudar ainda mais a gente.
Yeah, for sure, they're really important for us. You know, they're awesome athletes, and I think they're gonna help us whenever they come back. So just getting on board on how we're doing everything here and help us, you know, go up on the table and also get those points. And that's what we hope, that they come back and then can help us out. Of course, we are cheering on them and supporting them and hoping that tomorrow they have a positive result. And it's going to be great for them as well, for their confidence, to be happy coming back and also helping with our confidence as well and everything going up from there.
All right, we'll go Mike and then Scott to finish.
Marta, tomorrow is the final of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Obviously, you took part of it earlier this tournament. What are your thoughts about tomorrow, your predictions, and obviously in return, how is that tournament impacting the sport here in the United States?
Bom, eu gostaria de não estar aqui falando com vocês e estar jogando a final amanhã, mas infelizmente não foi possível, né? Eu acredito que vai ser um grande jogo, apesar que, na minha opinião, eu jamais imaginava que a Holanda ia chegar numa final, porque tinham outras equipes bem mais qualificadas, mais fortes. Mas futebol é isso, né? É sempre uma surpresa que às vezes acontece e a gente nunca sabe o que vem pela frente. Acho que essa Copa do Mundo já fez muita história, foi a mais vista de todos os tempos, a mais divulgada, a mais acompanhada. Aconteceram tantas coisas, né? No decorrer da competição, e eu tenho certeza que não só aqui nos Estados Unidos, mas em todo o mundo, e principalmente os países que investem no futebol feminino, que estão começando a investir, vai ser um impacto muito positivo. E, enfim, essa é a nossa esperança e assim eu espero que seja.
Honestly, I didn't really want to be here. I wanted to play that final, you know, but just being here, I honestly didn't think that Netherlands would be in the final, but that's, you know, soccer. Soccer surprises a lot of time. We had great teams in the World Cup. But I think we all think that this World Cup is making history, you know, it's just selling out, the most seen, the most talked about. So I think not only for here, for the US, it's going to change the women's soccer in the whole world, you know. I just hope that also helps the other countries that need that help in women's soccer, and we can all grow together and grow this sport.
Scott, last question.
There was almost an hour weather delay in the beginning of the match. Did that have an impact, you think, at all in the game?
Teve 1 hora de atraso no jogo. Você acha que isso impactou de alguma maneira o jogo?
Para ser sincero, eu não gosto, né? É chato você chegar aqui e ficar esperando o maior tempão, mas o tempo estava tão bom, o clima estava tão legal, essa chuvinha deu uma refrescada no tempo. Eu acho que para mim, particularmente, foi ótimo, né? E eu acredito que para as meninas também, porque a gente conseguiu apresentar um futebol melhor do que a gente fez no jogo passado, e que assim seja para os próximos jogos também.
Honestly, I don't really like when all that happens. You know, we just need to always keep waiting, and that's not really good at times, you know. But I think it also helped cool down, you know, got a little rain and all that, and we also played really well. So I think that was great for us.
Thank you, Marta.
Nice scored 2 goals. Fabulous.
Next, we'll have Rachel Hill, and then Marc Skinner will finish this off. Okay. I'll pull that mic over to you. Oh, you don't have to move. All right, we are now joined by Rachel Hill. Rachel, can you get us started with your thoughts on the game?
It's good to have a win at home. Our fans have been with us this whole way, and just to see them, you know, not give up on us and we can finally give them a win felt really good. I think our performance is getting better. Obviously, we need to keep a clean sheet at some point, but attacking-wise, I think we created a lot, and it's getting better each game.
Go to Mike and then Scott.
Obviously, you just mentioned it there, and Marta touched a little bit about it on the defensive struggles, but offensively, the team turned up with 4 goals. You got on target. I mean, how encouraging is it to finally see that type of offense kind of turn up, especially at home, to get that first win at home as well?
Yeah, it's fun and it's exciting, and that's obviously what we want to do. So it felt really good, and it kind of gives us the confidence and opened those floodgates in a way, because we hadn't really been scoring in the run of play so much. A lot of our goals have been off, you know, penalties or own goals or whatever it is, or set pieces. So to score in the run of play was huge for us tonight, just to get that rhythm going.
Over to Scott.
Going off that, just more on a personal note, you finally found the back of that for the first time. Just how does that feel?
It feels good. It's a relief in a sense. As a forward, you obviously always want to score, so it feels good, but it feels even better to get that win.
Back to Mike. You guys can hang on to the mics.
Rachel, interesting. Obviously, Marc wasn't at the sidelines. I know he's mentioned in the past that he'll probably watch the game from a different angle. I mean, what's that kind of like to kind of have a coach take a different approach in terms of how he sees the game, and how does that kind of impact the team as well, knowing that when you kind of look at the sidelines, is the assistants rather than the boss man there watching you guys?
Yeah. I mean, on the side, he obviously brings a huge energy. You can see him, I'm sure, you know, running, pacing up and down, yelling out and stuff like that. But I think it's good for him to look from above, and obviously he's passing information down to the field, and that's getting passed along to us. So he's still present, very much so present. And I think it's good for him to watch up there every now and then.
Scott.
Marta was back last week, just getting all the internationals slowly back into it. How have they impacted the games?
Obviously, they're top class. They're great players, and they know the game well. So it brings a lot back into our team. And obviously, we've worked a lot while they were gone, and they're adapting to that, you know, kind of forgetting about the whole World Cup and what their national teams do, and they're back here and fitting in really well. So it's definitely helped us. And yeah, they've done well.
Mike?
The team obviously is heading into now the second half of the season. Obviously, it hasn't been a great start, but to kind of start getting some wins, especially on the road a few weeks ago and then at home today, how important is it going to be these next upcoming games to not only just get some positive results, but to string up some good performances as well?
Yeah, absolutely. To get that momentum going is huge. Obviously, you never know in the NWSL, really. We could go on a streak and end up in the playoffs. And so you just kind of have to take it one game at a time and stay focused. But as you said, the performances will get us the results, and that's really what we need to focus on.
All right. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Catch your breath.
They're a bit better. Okay.
All right, now joined by head coach Marc Skinner. Marc, as always, please get us started with your thoughts on the match.
I'm going to be consistent with the message that I always say when we haven't got the result. I do apologise, I've been running up the hallway. Is that you can't keep conceding 3 goals and scoring 4 at home. Like, I know American sport love the drama and it's all well and good, but guys, we can't concede 3 goals at home and win every game. So I thought we were very, very dangerous today in possession. I thought out of possession we were quite controlled and just had moments of madness. I'm pleased with all of the girls' attitude, and I'm pleased that they got the win for them because they commit everything to what we're trying to do. So I'm really, really pleased and proud of them, but we've still got loads and loads of work to do.
Go to Mike.
Marc, you just mentioned obviously the team can't concede 3 goals. Can you just talk about the response the team had? Because obviously the first goal came early on, the team tied, took the lead, but then Washington scored again, and obviously it took Marta to score 2 goals to kind of get that game winner. But can you just talk a little bit about that in terms of responding to that? And then obviously the offense turned up 4 goals. Obviously this is the first time the team scores 4.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's been coming. We've scored 2 in the last 3 games prior to this, and then we scored 4 tonight. So 10 in the last 4's a pretty good return. I think, do you know what? I think they believe that they can score goals. I think what happens is when a new coach comes in, you either hit the ground running and results go your way and things fall into place, or there was a clear culture change that needed to happen here and still needs to continue to happen. And what happens is in that you kind of, when you're aware of things, so we're aware that we need to be better in possession, we need to stop transition, they start to think about their game too much sometimes, and that gets you out of flow. I think today we had flow in attack, and I think like all credit to the girls to do that. But they've shown a lot more resilience over the last few games. I think, if I'm being really honest, I think they're sick to death of losing. They're sick to death of playing well through periods of the game and then losing. And I think that the grit and determination of the individuals is starting to show again. And that is something we need to build on because we have really strong characters. You know, we welcome Alana and Emily back in today with Shalina. And the first thing Emily said prior to the kickoff was that I'm really proud of the work all of the players have done while the international players have been away. We're not here to come and take over. We're here to add to that, and we're here to give you the injection. So I think it's the ethos of the whole team that's starting to get better. So they're starting to think we're not down, we can win a game, we can score goals. But we don't need to put ourselves in that position, and that's where I've got to keep working on.
Go to Scott, and then back to Austin.
It looked like you weren't on the sideline tonight. Can you explain why you weren't there?
Yeah, it's funny that you say I look like I wasn't, because if somebody else looked like me down the sideline, then we're in trouble. There's not 2 ugly people in the world, but it was something I did at Birmingham. On the side of the pitch, you manage emotion, you manage the instant effect of the player nearest to you. Most players cannot hear you, especially when our wall is booming. So for me, and in my brain, I need to see the game tactically. And my job is to make decisions, not just waste emotions. So I sat upstairs and I sat at the best vantage point, the best viewpoint, so I could tactically see what Washington were doing, whether it was different to the game plan that we'd exacted or not. And then the nuances of who's going where, the shape, the patterns, the spaces available to counter-attack that. And then I can feed that back at half-time with the information. So I was upstairs. I prefer that. I love the fight and emotion, but my coaches can do that. They can shout at somebody to press, whereas I actually have to see the game. And I think too many people, I have a problem with this because I love the emotion of the game. I love being in it. But if you saw me last week, I nearly had a heart attack. So I genuinely went into the changing room at the end and I was like, I had to walk around. So for me, I need to calm and make decisions, not react off emotions. And then I'll let the other people, I'll marry that information with the information I have, keep that calm and put it together. So that's where I was.
Go back to Austin, then the mic. In the back.
So, Mark, what made this game different for you that you felt that you had to kind of take yourself away from the game and get a better tactical vantage point to kind of address what was going on?
I'd thought about it before, if I'm being honest, but you just don't know how it's going to go down in a different culture. You know, I want the fans to believe that I'm all in, like everything, I'm all in. I'm giving everything, and I will give everything to any club that I ever worked for. But I love Orlando, and part of the thing for me, I loved Birmingham. It was my team. I've come to Orlando, and I love Orlando. They're my team. But for me, I have to make a decision where you don't want to offend the fans because they want to see your passion on the side. But actually, we train all week so that the decisions are made in a game already. They shouldn't be reactive. You have to be an element of reaction to the game, but you can't just shout at it. It's the most pointless thing. It's like shouting at shadows. They can't hear you. So for me, if I'm going to affect this team and help them, I have to visually see the game, because then I can give real succinct information rather than like an expression of my emotion. I'm cheating the team. So I care and I love for the fans. They're amazing. And this club's amazing, but I need to see the game for my sanity. So I made the stance that I'm going to go down. My coaches can continue that on the side, and I'm going to make decisions. And it was right, the game plan we got right today. We've made mistakes at the back, but we knew we could counter-attack Washington. They're a very open team. They're a very good footballing team. They try and play it from the back. We knew where their spaces were. I just need to make sure we were doing it. So that's why I went upstairs.
Back to Mike.
I mean, it's pretty unique because we don't see that very often here in the United States. So how often we might see that from you, and how do you think your assistants did on the sidelines? Because we kind of saw them take turns in terms of throwing that emotion out on the field.
I mean, if you look at Carl when they scored the third goal, I think he nearly turned as grey as Lloyd. So I think he had a bit of a problem there. But I think they do great. I think, do you know what? It took us a little bit of time to get that going. I think maybe 4 or 5 games ago we were away at Houston and we got that right. We got the chemistry right between the messages that we were sending. So I could trust them at that phase. Now, I mean, I trust them in my life anyway, but I could trust them to give the information. I've wanted to do it for a long time. At Birmingham, it only took me, it was probably the last 6 months that I was there that I actually went upstairs to do it. And it's nowhere near, this is a beautiful stadium with really great vantage points. And we need to use that, and I need to use it. So you'll probably see it again. If we can win every game, if we can win a game of football like that, because we can tactically affect it, then you know, I'm all for that. It's about, look, guys, take the sport aside, think differently, and think what's effective. Not just get caught up in the emotion of. The fans do a great job of moaning at the players if they give the ball away. They do a great job of commending the players if they score a goal. Well, my job's to be more than that. You know, if I want my players to be clever and act differently, then I've got to, you know, be focused on what my task is. My task is to win football games here. So, you know, if I can keep doing it and be effective, then I'll keep doing it. If I think the girls need me on the side to G them up, I might go up for a little bit and come back down. So I can mix it, but it's a tool and a tactic that I need to use.
We'll go to Scott and then end with Austin.
Mark, you talked, I think it was Wednesday, about how hot it was and preparing for really hot, and obviously today was completely different.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
How do you think that weather today just affected the team?
I think it freed them up to run a little bit better, a little bit, you know, there's a little bit more, you were able to breathe a little bit better. The one thing that I need my team to do, though, is change pace a little bit quicker. So we trot a lot in what we call trotting terms. So they cover the areas of the field effectively, but there's got to be a time you change pace. You've got to press effectively, and you've got to be aggressive in that 1v1 press. So if it was cooler, and if it was something that they were able to run more, then I expect that to happen. You know, and that's something tactically we need to keep injecting into this team. I want my teams to press effectively, not just stupidly. And we will get there eventually, but then they would have saved their energy. But you're quite right. The other day we thought it would be a sweaty, a furnace, but it wasn't. It was good for both teams, I think.
Austin, last question.
So now, Mark, taking this result, you know, against a good quality opponent in Washington, and now taking it to the next week to Portland, in Portland, with the fan base and the atmosphere that they bring, how do you feel that this kind of can roll into future games?
I mean, I don't think there'll be any room for me to sit anywhere at Portland higher up, will there? I think that, look, Portland are a very good team. I think you have to take each team individually as we prepare every time for each team that we play. We haven't been good enough against Portland in the last 2 games. And that's something we need to affect. Then we're going into a cauldron of an atmosphere, which is already something you can get together against. You can fight together. You can go, okay, if they want to scream at us, then we'll play our football so they've got no chance to scream. The pitch is a little bit different. You know, it gives you a little bit of less of a run with the ball, and I think they're playing more direct on it. So we have to take each part as it comes, but no, we've got to take this forward anyway. If you're like, guys, you've been here from day dot where I've said I'm not happy with performance, I'm not happy with the attitude, the culture, so on, and now we're affecting that, and you can see the change in the team. I'm still going to keep on those. Results are results. They'll come and go. If your culture's right, your ethos right. Look at Washington. They're a team of draft pick players and splattered with some really good players, and they've got it together, and they've hit the ground running. They believe in it, but their culture's right. Richie's doing a good job, so it's really important that we keep doing the same thing. So I'm going to keep building this culture, and the results will come. I promise you that.
Thank you, Marc.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for your time.